this very morning. International Youth Soroti Kowa Grounds, Soroti Kowa Teachers Grounds is where we are to ensure that we bring you all the proceedings as it happens here in Uganda. Now the theme, a quick one for the viewers out there, is pretty much looking at skills development for enhancement of youth opportunities. And well, of course, in a situation where you get to realize that we have so many young people in our country, and with the just concluded population census, you get to realize that the numbers that we do have so far, and if you're to observe so well, you get to realize that the population of this country is still a young one, a promising one. But the bigger question is the opportunities that many of them lack of the Youth Day celebrations. It was in 1998 on that was in Lisbon, Portugal, where there was a first ministerial seating of its kind for ministers responsible for youth affairs world over. Now in this meeting that took place between 8th to the 12th of August, they decided that we should have or celebrate a Youth Day annually. Now in 1999, at the 54th General Assembly of the United Nations, it was then later approved that we shall be celebrating the Youth Day celebrations on the 12th of August. Every down the road as we are here to ensure that we celebrate the young people and ensure that the young people are celebrated. And just to let you know, by the way, we've been received so well here in Soroti as we arrived yesterday with the team, the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. And well, the environment is quite jovial, interesting. It is excitement all around from the people of Soroti, people heading to Serere district as well, Moroto Road, students of Soroti University who are also reporting will definitely be part of us as they kick start off their orientation week this very time. But as we continue having this conversation, allow me join a fellow colleague that I work with or I serve with at the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Amon Ampaire, who joins me this morning as we have a conversation on the same. Amon, good morning.
Very good morning, Yoga Kere, my brother Sonko, Yaramanoi. We are live in Soroti. I am very much excited that I have tested for the first time Bo. Have you tested Bo?
No, I haven't. I was on Karo yesterday.
It's interesting. You should try it before you leave here.
During lunchtime, maybe?
Yes, you should. It is very tasty and it is from the people here. Okay. It is part of their culture and heritage here.
Amon, speaking of the Youth Day celebrations, when you look at the environment in Soroti, let's first of all look at the significance of this day to the young people in this country.
I would say that the youth in this region, Teso sub-region, have been catered for in terms of skills development, which is our theme for this year. You must have seen some of the presidential initiative, skills development initiatives, like on this way from Kampala. You must have seen the presidential skills development center just off Terinya. And there are so many others, but this is very important for the youth in Uganda and also the youth in Teso sub-region. From yesterday when we reached in this place, I have realized that the majority, not just before you go into statistics, you realize that the youth are the majority, right? And you have also interacted with a number of them. I have slept in their guest houses. We have been in their hotels. We have been in some of the institutions like hospitals. And we realize that some of them, most of them, is well known for the youth, and youth engagement is very important in this country. So I would say that the people of Soroti, the people of Teso, the people of Kumi, which is just in the neighborhood here, they are really engaged as the youth. And there are so many. We've been talking to a number of leaders, and they have been really testifying on how government has already established and empowered the youth. Talk about PDM. Through their leadership, Yellow, who is the the person of yes, they wrote to the president to include the youth on PDM. You know, PDM was open to all, but now the youth have 30% of the money that is put at the parish development model. So you can see that the youth are already catered for from the grassroots. So I would say that, and if we talk about Emyoga, which is about skills, also they have been catered for. Actually, the other day, a microfinance support center has been calling all circles, including the youth, to come and take the money. 30 million, yes, 30 million people. So you would find that all the circles which are within Teso sub-region, in Soroti city, you know, Soroti has city, yes, and the district. As later on we're going to be talking to the RCC and also the RD. Yes. So you find that they have been catered for in terms of Emyoga, in terms of PDM, all the projects of government, all the programs of government, and this is very important. When we celebrate this day, we should be reminded of such activities, of such programs of government, to make sure that we just don't talk about the youth, but we talk about what we have done for the youth, which are the Gen Zs, the Generation Z, the Generation Z. So I think the Generation Z of this country, Uganda, have really been considered, have really been engaged, and of recent you must have seen them engaged, because they always, government officials always call the youth to participate in the fight against corruption. So when you see the Gen Zs also raising their voices in the fight, it is not that they are demonstrating or rioting. I think they are answering the call that we should join the government in the fight against corruption. So in so many ways, we are going to be talking to a number of leaders within the district, within the city, but also within the sub-region of Teso. Teso as a sub-region. Yes.
Thank you very much, Aman. I think I should let you go because you have more other duties to do for the youth who are watching us.
Indeed. It's all right.
All right, and there you have it with Aman Ampaire. Now, Aman is someone who is serving with us as well, and for all of you who have been part of the UBC Ground Zero, that is on UBC Radio, he is the same gentleman who hosts the program that brings accountability for all the leaders, inclusive of which the youth leaders. Now, here in Soroti, just like he has mentioned, you get to realize that youth involvement on such a special day as well has been highly observed. It has been highly recognized, because many of the young people here have been taking part in not only the presentations of this fruitful day, but they've also been taking part of every proceeding that is here at the grounds of the Soroti Koa Teachers College. And as we speak, also, I'm joined by quite a number of other leaders who are with us this very morning. And let me also get to him to hear from his side of things, how impactful this day is, how important it is. A very good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. Yalama
Noi. My name is Peter Pex Pahak. I am the resident city commissioner for Soroti City. Yes.
And as the commissioner for Soroti City, and we want to acknowledge the fact that it's still a young city, but looking at it from the time it was unveiled or given a city status, what are some of those key major achievements that you can look at and say the young people have been part and parcel as we celebrate their day today?
Thank you. Soroti City became a city in 2021, graduated from a municipality under Soroti district. And under government programs, they were benefiting as a municipality, and therefore a small fraction of the young people were benefiting because it was still under Soroti district. But since that time, when Soroti City became a city, the number of young people are now benefiting from all government programs. The numbers improved, and we have YLP, people have benefited. We have Emyoga, now PDM, and now even GROW. The female young ladies and youth are now benefiting from GROW. Then the skilling center. Now we don't treat Soroti as a municipality. We now treat Soroti as a city, and therefore they also benefit from the skilling center. So as a city, the number of young people benefiting from government programs has greatly increased. Yes.
Let's look into today's celebrations day. Soroti district being chosen to be the host of this day of the International Youth Day in Uganda's perspective. What does this mean to the city, and what does this mean for the people of Soroti?
Yeah, for the people of Soroti, it's a great opportunity to host a national function. First of all, as a city, you know, this function is in Soroti district, but everybody else ate from Soroti city, that's revenue to the city. Slept in Soroti city, that's revenue. Used boda to come here, that's revenue. Took some beer there, that's revenue. So as a city, we have benefited more than the Soroti district, and therefore it's a very good opportunity, and we wish that we continue to host such opportunities, such functions as a city or as a district. Yes.
Okay. Now, moving forward, for the young people who make the largest portion of the population in Uganda, what do you think they need to do? Because we are looking at today's this year's theme, which is focusing on skills development, which will enhance, opportunities for the young people. But what can the young people engage in to ensure that they create some of these opportunities for themselves and as well as for the fellow young people?
First of all, the young people must appreciate that today's celebration is for them to be reminded of their core responsibility, that as a government, as NRM government, it continues to exist. They must accept and join and participate in government programs. Okay, that's one thing they should know. Number two, as the young people, they must be reminded that the future is in their hands, and therefore government programs will always be there, but if they don't participate and actively cause impact, then they will lose it out. Okay, so they just need to be reminded, and they should be kept reminded that these programs exist. They must participate.
Okay.
Yes.
And I would like you to send a message in 2 languages to the young people who are watching us now.
First of all, achamta talakare apukan na NRM na tokona yelo dia achamaka numunum akwarna ko na ganga angkat ara kolong itina na angkat tumanak ara kolong itina na tata mereka tumanak epitola magna kito jogna ta ke chekiyar auto NRM government epitola magna ke to gegna ta alomar loti soli ajo ke da na NRM government ko kona PDM ko youth lively program ko kona yoga and so on. So magna kat tumanak da na to ma nitjongulu ko tere to jogata ake chekiyar auto ma ni boyo to kene. Yeah.
Translation of that.
Now I was saying this is just a very good opportunity for young people. The NRM government has given young people an opportunity to embrace government programs. It's a day that we, the young people, are actually celebrating because the voices of the young people are being heard. It's only NRM government that has made sure that the young people are represented at all levels out to parliament. It's only NRM government that has actually created programs for the young people that they should directly benefit. It's only the NRM government that is able to make young people to enjoy their day. It's an international day, but it's being celebrated. And it's only possible with NRM government.
Okay.
Thank you
very much. And there you have it from the RCC of Soroti District. 2021 is when it was then turned into a city. Now, when you look at the different developments in Soroti District and the city as well. Now, he has made some huge observations that Soroti City has greatly benefited from these same day celebrations being in their own district. Why? He has mentioned something to do with the hotels which were totally booked. I can assure you that when we arrived in Soroti District yesterday with the team here, we kind of found lots of hotels, lots of guest houses that had already been fully booked. Now that tells you how much prepared the hotel industry and the hospitality industry of Soroti was for this particular day, meaning that is revenue to the city. Now besides that also, you get to realize that the areas that was selling food, doing some junk foods as well and local foods, were also greatly having huge customers in the same regard, making it a very, very profitable kind of venture for the people of Soroti. But that said, I still do have quite a number of leaders here with whom I'm going to be interacting with. And now with me, I do have a lady who joins me as well. And let's check her out and see how the day means to her and how prepared she was for the day. A very good morning and Eyala Manoy to UBC.
Good morning to all your viewers.
Okay. Please say hello to my viewers and also wish them a happy Youth Day.
A happy Youth Day to all of us. It's a day to celebrate the energy of youth, all the accomplishments they make, the innovation that they bring in society, but also I think a day to recognize the challenges that they face. 73% of Ugandans are under 30 years of age. Almost half, a quarter of the population, 22 point something, is between 18 and 30. It is a group that we really have to pay attention to and make sure that they can have a productive adulthood.
All right. Let's look at the theme for this year's celebrations, looking at skills development. How important is that, per se?
Skills development is crucial. It's crucial. But I think the most important part is where we are today is we need jobs. Gone are the days when you finished school and you walked into an office with a job offer. That doesn't exist anymore. Many of our youth will have to create their own jobs or work for somebody who is running some sort of business. So we need jobs. When we're looking at skilling, the important thing is to look at ... how that translates to jobs.
Okay, and you've mentioned something to do with some of the challenges the young people are facing. And many of them are facing challenges of opportunities after they're done, let's say, with school. Others who have been quite unfortunate have not gone through school, and now they face a challenge of having those opportunities where they cannot create. How then do we deal with these problems?
I think we need to, there are a lot of good things that are being done, but quite frankly, we don't have the scale of them. So we know that government is implementing many social action programs. We know that many partners are working, but we need scale. For instance, 50% of rural Ugandan youth, 50, are neither in school, nor in employment, nor in any training opportunities. So clearly we're not reaching the box. So we need scale. I think what government and her partners should be doing now is really thinking through an ecosystem. An ecosystem that really supports these young people to be able to create, to get funded, to be able to make their own jobs.
Okay. And what would be your message to the government and the ministry in charge of the young people on this fruitful day of the Youth Day celebration?
On this fruitful day, we celebrate all the good things that have happened, but we know that we need to do so much more. We know that we don't have the scale that we need to have. So for the government, I hope that they will double down efforts and grow all the actions that are out there so that we can get this scale. And really think through an ecosystem. So there are many elements of this ecosystem in place. I know that government is thinking about funding. We know of these social action funds. But what kind of system fully can we have in place to really support young people? So it's the funding, but it's also a network of advisors who can really guide them. It's the business development services. It's the research that is required. It's all of those things that need to happen more or less at once. That would be my message to government, and to really harness all the partners. So many different things are happening. How do we pull all of those strands in place so that we can go towards scale?
Well, lastly, I've been looking through the background of the International Youth Day celebrations. 1999, during the UN Assembly, when they approved the day to be celebrated. I would want you to paint for us a picture of the significance of this day to the entire world.
Oh, it's massively significant. Youth are so important here in Uganda, no? 73% under the age of 30. It's the same globally. And we know that the development conditions we have today, many young people are, they look at their future and it's a bit dim. They're frustrated. They're anxious. In some cases, they're a little bit angry. So all the more for us to really redouble our efforts to make sure that we can give them that hope that is required for them to look at the future, to look at a promising future, so to speak. So it's an important day, especially now, because a lot of what used to work in the past perhaps is not working anymore. As I said, my parents, when you finished schooling, almost at any level, there was a job for you. Today, that's not the case. Young people cannot count on that. Young people will have to make their own jobs. So it's different. So we have to think with that mindset. How do we support a new world that will really be led by entrepreneurship?
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Oh,
Happy
okay.
Youth Day to you.
Thank you very much. And well, when you look at the issues to do with opportunities, truth be told, there are not so many opportunities that have been created for the young people today. Why? Back in the time, like she's mentioned, let's say 25 years back down the road, when this day was considered to be a day annually celebrated, the chances were so many for the young people then that if someone is done with school, someone is done going through an institute per se, they would definitely get a job somewhere. Job placements were available. The papers could back you. If at all you have the right qualifications, you would then get the job. Now, sadly or unfortunately today, whether you have the job, whether you have the qualifications, or whether you're done with school and you have the experience somewhere, the chances are very minimal for you to get employment. And this is something that is quite unfortunate because of the high level of competition that we do have. The young people are competing for jobs with older people in the same in the same surface area in regards to what you can offer. Now that makes it quite unfavorable because the young people who are also looking for skill development, or those who are looking for experience, they cannot get the experience. And it's something that many of the youth leaders world over are trying hard in order to get or to receive, because this is one voice for the young people. When you look at many nations today, many of them have embarked on empowering the young people, because as much as you're growing, you get to realize these young people, the youth, or what you could call the younger generation, these are the same people who will be the leaders of tomorrow, or the future leaders that we shall definitely be having at the end of the day. But as we continue to have a build-up until the main celebrations do kick off, but please do note that they've already kicked off because we have presentations on stage. I do have quite a number of leaders here. Now let me get this one from the perspective of the diplomatic league of the country to get a voice and probably understand the significance of the Youth Day celebrations. A very good morning, ma'am. You're live on UBC.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
All right. Pleasure's mine having you.
Thank you very much.
Let's look into the Youth Day celebrations. But first, how have you found Soroti? Is this your first time here in this district, or it is your second? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've been here before and I found it very nice. It's always friendly and I love the balancing rocks. You know, when you're driving through and in the middle of town, there's a big rock coming up formation. So I think it's something very special here.
Okay. Allow me, please, let my viewer know the office you're representing this morning.
Yes, my name is Signe Winding Albjerg and I'm the Danish ambassador to Uganda. And I'm here representing the EU and its member states here in Uganda.
All right. Speaking of the EU has been very vocal when it comes to youth skilling and development, and also giving them opportunities to go and study abroad. Let's look at that element of skills development. How important and crucial is it for youth growth in the country?
Well, I mean, just evidently that youth takes up the majority of the population in this country, and youth has an amazing strength, an amazing potential to really bring the transformation of the economy that is needed in a country like Uganda. So it is completely essential that we find a way to support youth in attaining that full potential. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that we equip them with skills that are needed and are useful to the economy. So one thing is, of course, your basic education. You need a basic education system that works and where you attain a certain level. But when you get further than that level, we need to make sure that the skills that we equip the youth with are actually what is needed by the companies and the economy, because then you can bridge that gap. That a lot of the companies that we talk to, they're saying that they need more skilled labor, they need more employees that are well skilled, and then when you talk to the youth, many of them don't have a job, they need employment. And how do we bridge that gap? We do that by providing opportunities for skills development that are tailored to the private sector and the economy.
Okay. And you've mentioned something to do with the private sector. It's quite competitive today, not only for the young people, even those above the bracket of the youth. Let's look into this competition element. And it has become very unfortunate for the young people world over to deal with the competition, because one, they lack the experience to compete for the jobs. But then we've always been pushing for entrepreneurship and them starting up with their various innovations. To the young people, what message could you give to many of those who are willing and are on the verge of starting up their own businesses?
Yeah, no, I think you're pointing to a very, very crucial part. That one thing is, of course, skills development to enter into the formal sector and employment. But another thing, and this is what many of the EU programs are also looking at, is to equip the young people with skills in terms of financial literacy, business understanding, how to develop your own company and how to start your own company. And I think for the youth, one thing I could say is that try to have the dialogue with the private sector, understand what it is that is needed. Spend a little time on market analysis to understand where are the gaps and where are the opportunities, and then look for what is needed for you to actually jump on those opportunities, because the opportunities are there. But of course, we are here to help in terms of bridging that opportunities, the needs, and then the youth that needs the skills development.
And then lastly, your message to the young people watching. Today is their day, and it is supposed to be very significant to them. So what message would you give them?
I think that my most important message to the youth is that know that your voice matters. We need to hear the voice of the youth. We need to hear from.
It's very important. You need to look for the market and try to look at the market scope, the market space, and try to reach out and get the skills that will develop your employability in order to compete. Because the slightly older, like she has put it, have already taken up these jobs, and many of them have also upgraded when it comes to their education. And then it is something that not so many young people have had the chance and opportunity to definitely get into these spaces, like those who are past the age of the young people. But let me get still to other leaders this very morning to have conversations about the significance of this day and the message that they can pass on to the young people who are watching. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Morning. Washaki Ahabada is my name. I'm the Residences Commissioner Kumi, but I'm also the regional whip of my colleague Sarah Disease in Teso Sub-Region. I do welcome all guests into Teso Sub-Region and wish you a good celebrations.
We're in Teso Sub-Region, but you would have used the local language now to say hello to the viewer.
Ate kere yoga kere akakiro Washaki Ahmad Aradisi Lokumi kede whip Aradisi kere lo Teso Sub-Region Yalama Abuner Yalama Anyon.
Okay. And speaking of Kume district coming here to Soroti, because now Kumi has come to Soroti, but this is a very significant day for the people of Teso, like you've mentioned. Of what importance is this day to the young people, not only in Soroti, but as well as those in Kumi and the entire Teso sub-region?
This day is very important. It's the day we witness the recognition of government and the international world towards the youth, involvement in all spheres of life for transformation of society. Therefore, as we gather here, really, it's a recognition, and youth, wherever you are, please feel big, celebrate. The issue of saying you are leaders of tomorrow ended by way of now having members of parliament already in the parliament, ministers appointed of your age. So the issue of tomorrow ended as this day today recognize it and confirms what is on the ground.
Let's talk about youth involvement. You've mentioned the fact that the young people are being represented in parliament and in the cabinet per se. Let's look at their involvement in the crucial affairs. How important can that be for the youth in Uganda?
Yeah, youth involvement is very, very important, because for you to be mentored and nurtured into a leader, you need to begin participating in your early ages. That is how you get mentored, cope up with how leadership is held, and that is how you can also graduate to a good leader as you take over from us elders. So involvement means when they have issues, youths, like now the issue of employment, they, by participating, means their voices reaches where they are supposed to lobby for ensuring that programs that goes on in the country or in the world at large, they participate in giving their views. That's why you see Uganda now, we have a lot of programs geared at empowering the youth.
Thank you very much. And greetings to the people of Kumi. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to have a conversation with the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Honorable Betty Amongi, who is going to be with us here. And you get to realize also the heat levels within Kumi district here, rather within Soroti district, are quite many and are quite high, if that is the right word to use, brother. Now, I do have the Minister for Gender and Gender, Labour and Social Development. I almost messed up with that. Honorable Betty Amongi, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Soroti for the celebration of International Youth Day.
Okay, a message to the people of Teso sub-region. They welcomed us so well yesterday. But what would be your message to them, especially the young people?
To the young people in Teso and beyond, this year's theme is about skilling the youth for enhancing their opportunity. We are going into a global technological world where you need information and skills related to technology, but also skills for job. I want today that you listen to the messages from the leaders and be able to get the niche, change your mindset, take the opportunities. We'll be able to unpackage for you the programs we have that you are able to benefit from. So focus, build skills, build entrepreneurship, get self-employment in the private sector because the public sector no longer has enough jobs. So your skill should be an entrepreneurship skill that can allow you to innovate, that can allow you to start a business, that can allow you to be self-employed.
And Honorable Minister, let's look into the theme this year, which looks at skills development. What efforts are still ongoing by the government, and what efforts are should the young people expect in the coming years from the government to ensure that their skills are upheld and further developed?
Already, government of Uganda has improved the curriculum. The curriculum now embeds technical, institutional, managerial, entrepreneurship, and technological skills. So that starts now integrated from all level onwards. This is a very big step that will support many of the youth to get skills from the early stage on top of any courses that they are doing. We are also conducting a number of skills under the Youth Livelihood Program, under GROW, under the Presidential Skilling Program, under BITVET, which is under Ministry of Education. We have other skilling centers under Ministry of Gender. So the skills that we are now have introduced through different programs should be able to protect the youth and promote the youth in getting skills that will support them into getting jobs. And I'm glad that Uganda is recognized as one of the most entrepreneurial country in the world, but also the youngest country in the world. We have 80% of the youth, 80% of our population are people below 35 years. That is a very powerful statement that the youth defines our generation, and we must make opportunities that will enable them to move our country forward.
And lastly, your message to the young people in the country watching UBC and those celebrating the day.
That this day is not only a celebration. To the youth, this day is a day for you to reflect on what skills is important for your career, for finding entrepreneurship. My message is I do not want youth that are getting skills for seeking a job, but getting skills for creating jobs. And we shall ensure we make programs that will help you and help your innovation to get into the market. And we will be telling you how and where you can get this financing. Thank you.
And there you have it. That is the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Honorable Betty Amongi, who has been speaking to us, saying that when you look at skills development and what the government is doing, they are making sure that even the institutes or learning and education institutes in the country focus on skills development. And that means that moving forward, it will give an opportunity to the many young people to have various jobs, but they will have these jobs by creating them for their fellow young people, and the government is ensuring that that is something very possible. Now, allow me also introduce to you the MC of the day, who is also from the Teso sub-region and from Soroti district as well. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I want to thank UBC for covering this National Youth Day celebrations, which is coming from our district of Soroti. My name is Bob Owin. I am a district councillor. I represent the sub-county of Tubur. I'm also a member of the district youth council, so I'm a youth leader. And on behalf of the people of Soroti, I want to say we are happy for this opportunity. Of all the 146 districts in our country, they have chosen our district to host. So we are happy and grateful to government, to His Excellency the President, the Minister of Gender, and everybody who has made this day possible here for us, the young people of Teso, the young people of Uganda, and of Soroti.
Okay, and to the young people of Soroti, I've seen you've been addressing everyone who is here in 2 languages. Allow me also ask you to reintroduce yourself using the language of the land, so that a viewer who is within the Teso sub-region can feel comfortable and feel highly welcome that this is in their region.
Atekere yala manoi ikakrora BOB Bobo Wing arange district councilor lo gotem etemlo Tubur arange ngaron la tumuna ko councilor la tumunak ido lo lengo ngesara ila yete programa ne kedikana channel wa polo ido anua ngunu akoro ngatema reberare rengne polo noi ni jao natekere no Teso adumuna para ne pol aya no district awok ikote shalam kini papa president kura shalam kini apugan kai tunga kere le sipedo saparani na aje kini ne Teso aje kini Soroti otemula Suret lolo Soroti kwa PTC yala masonoi. Yes.
Let's now focus on youth development. How do we enhance skills amongst the young people, because this is very critical? There are less jobs available, but skills development is something that many young people can involve in. What do you say about it as a youth leader?
First of all, we want to say technical education and skills development is the way to go. We can study courses like social work, social development. They are good, but they cannot bring food on table. There's white collar jobs are very few. But now with technical education and skills enhancement, you can get a skill and survive on a skill. So people used to think technical education is for the dwarf, people who are not academically stable, but technical education requires people with skills and talents and brains. So let's embrace technical education, let's embrace skill development, because you can survive with your skill and earn a living from your skill. Yes.
And what should we expect on this grateful day of the celebrations? You are one of the masters of ceremony today, and what can you give as a roadmap picture of what to expect today?
First of all, there is a national parade manned by Uganda Police and Uganda Prisons here. There are local and national and international artists here. There are great performances. There is a great exhibition show. You're seeing the tent there. There's a lot of fun here. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of vibe. For us, the young people, we say a lot of vibe in the young people. And indeed, we are celebrating and we're happy so very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time as well. Eyala Manoi. Okay, and there you have it. He's one of the youth leaders as well in Kumi, rather in Teso sub-region, Soroti district. Now I'm mentioning something to do with Kumi district because they are neighboring districts here, and of course many of the people from the Teso sub-region also reside within the districts nearby. Here Serere, mentioned Kumi, and of course many people are coming here to celebrate this very important day of the Youth Day celebrations. I'll be back shortly as we continue having these conversations, and well, of course, just to take you back a little bit from the perspective of many of my guests that I've had in the morning here, is that you do realize that youth development, youth skill development has been one of the most crucial elements over the years. Why is this so? When you look at a population that is growing every other year, it demands high level of employment opportunities. Now, the chances are very minimal for the employment opportunities to be available. This is why you do realize that many of the youth leaders are within themselves coming up with various groups to ensure that they continue they continue pushing for youth development and involvement in various sectors, because this will enhance their opportunities, and then also not only enhance the opportunities but also give a clear move for the many young people. And also, not to forget, I am part of the young people, and I'm also part of the youth, if I'm so to speak, and pretty much representing the Gen Zs this particular morning here in Soroti. The Soroti Kowa Teachers College grounds, where we are here. For those of you within the region and you want to be part of the celebrations are quite open, because so many people within the Teso sub-region are just coming in. We are having various delegates, various diplomats who are making their way here. We are also having various ministers in various categories and different disciplines as well, making their way here. Various youth groups, not only within the Teso sub-region but countrywide, because we do have quite many of the youth leaders at district level, because the government has been very intentional when it comes to involving the young people. Under the National Youth Council, you get to realize that it's something that you need to understand. Now, the King of Kumam, he's also on ground here, and that is the person who is actually also arriving. Now, the Itesot and the Kumam are the major tribes here, but please don't forget that these are welcoming people, and we quite have a number of tribes being introduced here. Not only the Itesot and the people from Kumam, but we also have quite a number of tribes being represented as well. Now, let me get into more conversations with some of the leaders who are here to ensure that we have more conversations and preparing you for what to expect in the next few hours or so. Good morning, sir. You're live on UBC.
Thank you. Chomia James is my name. I am the Deputy Resident District Commissioner Kumi. First of all, I want to thank His Excellency the President, Retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for whatever he's doing, considering and prioritizing the young generation, the younger people of this country on his agenda. Whatever he's doing, when you realize, you will see and you will appreciate that the younger people has been brought on board. Right? See, you first observe, see from this one, from the representative, they have been representatives at the Parliament of the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Let's first see, just see, from every sub-region of this country, you see that the younger we have the presidential industrial hubs, and the younger people are being trained in different disciplines, different skills, tailoring, carpentry, hairdressing, and a number of them. And the younger people are taking it up, and they are being trained, and they are learning these skills. And at the end of the day, they are being employed in that way. And you see that also our younger people, like you say in PDM, we see 30% our younger people are also benefiting from that way. And a number of things, you see that the younger people have been prioritized, like what following also the recent census count, which was the younger people are the majority of this country here.
Okay, now let's have honest conversations about their involvement. Quite many times we've seen young people getting involved, but there are some shortfalls as well. How do we then address some of the issues the young people are facing? Because many of them are facing problems, underrepresentation at different levels, and then their voices are not heard as much as we want them to be heard. What then should we do moving forward?
Thank you so much. Me personally speaking, myself, I'm a youth leader. I'm a youth leader representing the young people of Venarim of Ginger. But really, you will see, you will appreciate, you realize that the government has done everything for the young people of this country. But the issue, the main challenge we are facing is the issue of mindset change. Is what we are saying. The moment, actually, it should be a call to the government and to each and everyone, all of us, to first put emphasis on the issue of mindset change. And when we do this, to see that we are waking up some of our colleagues who are still sleeping, to realize what the government is bringing for them, what the government is doing for them. I see we have little in a number of these challenges which have been there. You realize that we have representatives at Parliament. We have representatives at Parliament. We have area MPs, whom through as the younger people, we take in, we submit in our queries, our issues which is affecting the younger people, which we believe that they represent us, and they talk for us and they represent our issues. Not only there, but you see that we have representatives right from village level. The young people are represented, village level, parish level, sub-county level. you know, at the district level, even at the national level. So there are very many channels where the younger people can represent our challenges. But also, government should continue emphasizing and embarking on the issue of skilling the young population.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lamanoy.
And there you have it. I'll be back shortly to have more conversations and discussions with the different leaders or the different youth leaders. Let me switch you back to the presentations on the main stage of the presentations here in Soroti District at the Soroti Core Teachers College. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko for UBC TV. Stick around because the live broadcast does continue. Good morning.
Development man, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. No change, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The peacemaker, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. No change, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Ooh, we might link up someday. We might meet in some corner. Someday, you might need me somewhere someday. Somewhere, you might want me somewhere someday.